Hey YouTube, my name is Case, as you know. I've decided to make this video because it's gonna help me go through and not even go through and get closure to the past 17 years of my life. My domestic violence story. I met my partner at a time when I owned my own property. I was at uni, I had one child. I brought him over to this country. I basically did everything. Got him his ILR within 18 months. Was the main financial provider. Paid the mortgage, paid the majority of the bills, all the going outs. When he came to the country, he didn't have nothing, so I had to support all of that. But looking back on the relationship, I see there was a lot of red flags. There was a lot of red flags, but I didn't want to see them because I thought I was in love. Because of all the attention that I was getting, the calls and, the I love yous and you're so beautiful and there's nobody like you in this world. I believe that shit. I did. And then, like I said, things just started to get real crazy. First of all, it started off with arguments. He'd be saying that, we're arguing too much, and before he can get the chance to show me what type of man he could be for me. But he was the creator of the arguments. He took the arguments to levels that you'd only curse out like somebody out like that in the street, or someone that'd kill your child. That's the level of cursings that I was taking. And looking back, I don't know why I mean I did make him leave 10 times, but the 11th time, it's so confusing as well, because within that time as well, I'd had, he started cheating on me. I'd had 2 STDs. One of the STDs was when just after we had our second child. He started an affair. That's when he started calling me cunt. That was his lead word then. On top of everything else, cunt, bitch and whore. That's always what I was. I'm stupid. I ain't shit. I'm nothing to lose. There's younger, better looking women out there, because I'm 51. I met my partner when I was 34. My partner, soon to be ex-husband. I met him at the time he was 22, going to 23, and I was 34. Like I said, I went through a lot. I've had knives pulled on me when I was pregnant. I've been choked. I've had black eyes on 2 occasions. My right eardrum was perforated while we was on holiday in Jamaica, 4 days after we got there. His family knew that he'd assaulted me. Not one of them came to me. Maybe it's because it's their culture for the women to be treated like that, but my God, I went through everything in that marriage. Homelessness, ended up having to sell my property. He used to, the level of things that he'd tell me in the argument, he'd curse me about the sexual abuse my father perpetrated against me as a child, made it seem like it was my fault. He was always like, it's like a separation thing, because I know my family was dysfunctional, but he'd always be in my ear, why are you going around these people, till it ended up I wasn't going around nobody. Every slight was taken to the tantamount, and it was just me and him, and he wanted to come with me everywhere. And I used to think that was beautiful, but that is another form of control as well, because it makes you feel like you need this person to survive. You can't be anything. You can't be yourself or anything in this world without this person. And I'm a university educated woman. I've always had good jobs. When I got my last position as an immigration officer. The night before my first exam, my enforcement exam, this was the exam for my warrant card. The level of abuse I got the night of that exam, because he was like, oh, you don't want to be with me. And I'm like, I can't speak on these things now. I need to concentrate on that. He went in for nearly 3 hours telling me how fucked up I am. I must go and suck this, I'm at that. I'm my age, about the young women out there. He named all the women that he'd been with. Oh my God. When I think about the level of emotional and verbal abuse, and it made me so small, because I used to be scared of him getting mad, because he would shout so loud. His face would be distorted, white around the mouth. You're a bitch, you're a whore, you're nothing. And all of this was done in hearing of our children, because they was always here. But the last time, when it happened, because in the last year I started to record every incident, and he was kicking off every 4 to 6 weeks, you know. And it was like my mind was not getting a reset, because usually when he kicks off, it'd be okay, and then he'd take us on a family trip, or we'd go out to dinner, or he'd buy me a gift, you know. But the uptime wasn't making up for the downtime, because the downtime was always coming straight back in, right around. You know, I developed dyshydrotic eczema. It's clearing up now that, well, if you look back on a previous video I posted, how bad it was. But you see, I now know it's trauma bond. I did do a domestic violence course for 12 weeks, which made me recognize and realize what exactly I was going through. I don't even know where to look on this screen, so I'm probably giving you guys crazy eyes. But as I was saying, you know, I had to understand what trauma bond was. I had to understand what narcissism was. I had to understand what narcissistic supply was. You know, I went through everything in that marriage: nervous breakdown, feeling suicidal, depressed, and all of this is a side effect of being with a narcissist. You know, I was made to feel that everything was my fault. You know, it's my fault he cheated. It was my fault that he shouted and cursed me out like I was a dog in the street. It was my fault. Everything was my fault. It was my fault. He even got to the point where I'm perimenopausal. He went nuclear that I'm going through menopause. It made me, I couldn't even, you know what I mean, bless my body and recognize the changes coming in my life. I'm done with motherhood now. I'm now the captain of the ship to help my children usher in their children when their time comes. I never went through all of that. I never got no emotional support. You know what I mean? He was always emotionally cold. And every time after an incident, it was because he'd be saying, it's because I love you. That's why I did this. It's because I love you. You don't understand. He tried to make it minimize his verbal abuse, that there's many women out there going through worse, but I can't impress on you enough how much verbal abuse affects you. In some cases, it's worse than the physical abuse, because it gets in your head. This is the person that you love, that you've attached yourself to, telling you that you ain't shit, that you're a bitch, that your pussy stinks, that they wish they never had kids with you, and then they still want to look at you and come and lay with you at night time. You know? It's been 10 months now since I've come out of the situation, and I had to have him removed by the police, because, you know, the police didn't arrest him because he didn't physically harm me, but the level of verbal abuse that was coming at me, it was like, when he's in a rage, it's like being wrapped in foil and plugging the fork into the into the electricity outlet. My spirit was broken when I was with him. It was broken. He cussed everything out of me. The happiness, the joy, the sexiness, the motivation, self-respect. But the strongest source that I've had in healing myself is God. Every morning I wake up and I thank God that I have another day. That I'm not waking up next to somebody who's going to start an argument at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Can you imagine how that unbalances a mind when somebody starts cursing you out from that time of the morning, right? And then, what else? Not only that, the kids are in the house, so they're being frightened out of their sleep. All 3 of my children turned into emotional eaters. I wasn't an emotional eater. You know, since coming out of this negative, toxic marriage, I have lost 19 pounds. I joined the gym. I set up my tarot channel. I've recently got a promotion at work, you know, which I am eternally grateful. I know my face looks, my face looks down and everything, but it's not about, how can I put it? It's like I was living with somebody who came to rob, steal, and kill. It's like my joy was stolen from me, and I had to learn how to be joyful for myself again, and that is where the gym came in. Child, I was going to the gym from Thursday to Sunday, and then I'm off work for a couple of weeks, and I go to the gym every day, you know, because that is where God told me to go. You know, while I was in that relationship, I'm self-medicated a lot. I was drinking a lot. I'd wake up in the morning and drink throughout the day, you know, drink to go and tidy up the house, drink to cook the dinner. I didn't realize that it was a defense mechanism that I was using to give myself amnesia so that I could stay. So that I could stay in that situation with somebody who told me on a regular basis that I was less than shit, that I was nothing, I was never going to be nothing, you know. Went through all of that. What? But anyway, this is not a rant or a poor me video. This is something I had to do because there's a lot of women and men in my situation that can't leave. Trust me, I know. Nobody knows like Case how hard it. I can rub this on myself because I use unrefined coconut oil. Yeah, for my hair. I'm about to start braiding my hair again. Purple is my favourite colour, so I'm fancying a box braid with a purple tip, so that's what I'll be doing. But okay.